Hello friends, my name is Manoj Kumar from Corp IT. In today's video, we'll discuss about one of the important component of Kubernetes that is known as etcd. So etcd is a key value store database that utilize in Kubernetes for storing every type of configuration, every type of key, and anything that need to be stored in the Kubernetes. Then we have the etcd. In the another word, we can also say the etcd is a database for our Kubernetes. So what we understand now, we need to understand what exactly is the key value store. So basically, as you can see, this is one of the example that I'm pointing out. So in this example, my name is Manoj, my age is 30, my city is Kanpur. So that's like the key. The key is name, and what is the value? Value of that name is Manoj. Another example, what is the key? The key is age. What is the value? 30. Then the key city. What is the value? Kanpur. So that's how it is like a key value store is. Okay, so now you will say, Manoj, like why we need to use that instead of the professional or like a traditional database system like MySQL and all those things. So the what is the what is the why we use etcd basically? Let's suppose if you want to run a big query, it will take amount it will take same time that will take a normal query. So that's one of the advantage that we have with the etcd rather than going with a MySQL, because if you remember, in the SQL we need to use lot of joins and just to create a very big query just to output the data. But in the Kubernetes, basically in the etcd, it's not the case. Anything you can fetch it, it will take the same time. Okay, so that's one of the important thing with the etcd. Now, why do we need etcd? The first thing is the performance. So as I stated, it will take the same time because the constant time lookup for the lightest fastest operation. And it's very scalable. Can scale horizontally across the multiple cluster. Let's suppose you want to create a multiple master node, you can just create it and then you can just scale out your etcd. And there are like another type of configuration also where you have like etcd apart from your main cluster, so you can also go with that using the etcd. Flexibility, there's no fixed scheme, you can put data in any way. So let's suppose you created a key value store where you added, let's suppose with the previous example, my name, age, city. Let's suppose you want to add a pin code, but in some interview you don't want to add a pin code, then the extra field will be not created in that case. Okay, now the simplicity, as I stated, it's very to use. We need not to use the complex join command and just to create a big thing. It's just very simple, and it's also a distributed consensus. So in order to understand, let's suppose in any distributed system, we need to have the consensus in order to achieve something. Let's suppose there are 3 etcd cluster and they want to agree upon, okay, like whether this entry is written or not. So in order to validate, at least 2 node need to be validated, okay, like this entry is added. If let's suppose the majority is 2 and one node is saying no, that this entry is not added, that means the majority is with the 2 node, then the write will happen. Let's suppose, and one more example, let's suppose 2 node are saying that entry is not there and one node is saying no entry is there. That means the power is always with the 2 and that entry will not be written. So this is not for this only, like there are a lot of multiple distributed system, they all use some kind of a algorithm to use that. And in the etcd they use something called draft, but we have the another algorithm also like paxos and all those things. Now what are the key feature? So the first feature is CLI tool that it come with etcd CTL. So I just want to give you a heads up, like if you are using like me using the Rancher desktop, this by default etcd DL will not with you because it created a etcd as a pod instead of installing it as a binary. But let's suppose if you just installing in a bare metal system, then you can definitely use when you install etcd library directly into the system, at that time you have this utility. The default port that it use it 2379. It also have all the security related encryption, TLS encryption, and you can also do the role based access control with this. Now what are the advantage? Strong consistency guarantee. optimized for distributed system, as I already stated. Robust security and encryption we have. Perfect fit for cloud native environment. Now, what are the common use cases? Service discovery, because as you know, it's a database of Kubernetes, so everything is stored into that. And let's suppose if the kube API server need to check something, it will check with the etcd database just to understand where exactly the value is, or where exactly the pod is. All those it will help get to know from the etcd. It will also help for your configuration management and the leader election in the cluster. There also it take a major part. What are the limitation of etcd? Sensitive to network and the disk latency. So any distributed network, any distributed system is always prone to the network. The network should be well and good. Need careful tuning for large scale cluster. Let's suppose if you have a very big cluster with like more than 20 nodes or 30 nodes, then you need to be very conscious about doing that. Maybe complex for beginner, but to be frank, it's very easy to learn. That the learning curve is not that much. And if you are learning only the Kubernetes, then etcd I don't think so will bother in you in the long term, until unless you are doing some system design or something. At that time you need to optimize the etcd. Otherwise, in the normal day-to-day scenario, I don't think so you will never interacted with the etcd. So that's all for this video. I hope you like it. I also have a written article, so you can go and check out on my website. I will also add, once I upload it to the YouTube, I will also add that video directly over here, so you can directly watch it from here. So yeah, that's all for this video. Hope you like this video. If you have any concern, if you have any question, just let me know in the comment. You can also reach out to me over the LinkedIn. I will be more than happy to assist you. So that's all for this video. We'll see you in the next one. Till the time, peace.